Hey, 6th grade. Welcome to Lesson 7A, Day 2. So, your book should be on page 7475. Follow my directions in this, and you'll be ready to go. Now, the good news is you're going to have less to do than this looks because I'm changing it up. First thing I want you to do is, if you look on page 75, cross out 11 through 17. We are not doing those. You are not doing those. So if you're doing this video because you were absent, make sure you tell me that I told you in the video to cross those problems out because I'll forget. All right? Now, let's go back here. So here's the thing. The book is going to be teaching you two methods. All right? Now, I've gone through and I've learned this new method called the area model. And it works nice with simple problems, but it's kind of complicated and harder for more complicated problems. So we're not going to do it. I made that decision after I tried it a couple times. What we are going to do is I'm going to show you how to multiply using the traditional, because that's what most of you learned, and the lattice. All right? So now, let me go back up here to the problem, and let's read it. So first off, it says, a cargo truck can carry a maximum weight of 2,250 pounds. How many pounds of cargo can be carried by 115 trucks? So first thing I want to talk about is, why is this a multiplication problem? Well, first, let me tell you why it's not addition. So it's not addition because you cannot add pounds to trucks and get pounds. Think of it. That's like if you have 2 apples and 3 oranges, and now you have 5 apples. You can't do it. You can't add different things together and get one thing. So it's definitely not addition, right? Now, why is it multiplication? Because each truck is a group. Remember, each truck can carry 2,250 pounds. So instead of thinking 115 trucks, think of it as 115 groups of 2,250. And groups of is multiplication. All right, so now let's talk about multiplying it. So I'm going to go down. And for this part, as I show you, I don't want you to write anything down. So I'm going to set up a T-chart to compare traditional versus lattice. So for traditional, I'll start with that one. Most of you guys have learned this one. So 2,250 times 115. Now traditional, if you are good at it, is pretty efficient. It works pretty quickly. But the thing is, I found most 6th graders aren't good at it and mess it up. So watch this one, and I'll go through and I'm going to solve it. Ready? So I'm going to start by multiplying 5 times each digit of 2,250. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25, but I only write the 5 and I carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. I write the 2, carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And then I always, just so I don't mess up, I erase those before I do the next digit. I'm going to switch colors. So I'm going to multiply this 1 times everything. But don't forget, that 1 is really a 10. So we fill in this 0 here to show that it's a 10. All right? So 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, now I'm going to switch colors one more time. Let me switch to red. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply this 1 in the hundreds place. Since it's not really a 1, it's a 100, we fill in the 2, 0 from 100 here. And now I multiply the 1 times everything. So 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. All right, last thing I do is I'm going to add all those up. 0, 5, 7, 8, 5, 2. Okay. Now, lattice. The negative of the lattice is drawing the lattice. But once you get it drawn, the problem is a lot easier than traditional, in my opinion. You just have to draw the lattice. So I'm going to show you how to draw it. So in our problem, 2,250 times 115. I call this a 4-digit by 3-digit problem. So you draw a 4 by 3 lattice. Now, you really just start with a rectangle. Don't make them too small because it just makes it hard to write your numbers in. So the 4, you split it into 4 pieces this way, and 3 pieces the other way. Okay, so that's your 4 by 3. Then, from each corner to corner, you draw a line. So watch this, corner to corner to corner. You don't have to make those dots. I'm just showing you corner to corner to corner to corner, all the way through. Corner to corner to corner to corner. Now remember, this is the part of lattice that tends to turn people off because it's a pain in the butt. But once you get good at drawing them, it doesn't take you long. All right, so now I put my numbers. Remember, 2,250, 115. Okay, so now, yes, it took a minute to get that set up, but now that it's set up, remember how over here you had to write the 5, carry the 2, then multiply and add? It's kind of confusing for a lot of people. This way you don't have to deal with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this 1 by all 4 of these numbers here. Ready? So 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. None of that carrying this over to the next place. Now, since the next digit's a 1, I'm going to get the same exact thing in those boxes. So 0, 5, 2, 2. The last I'm going to multiply 5 times everything. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, so I did my multiplication. Now, I add up just my diagonals. So, let me get here. I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting here. So you don't do this. I'm just showing you. I'm going to add, let me see. I'll get, oops, give me a second. Okay, I'm going to add that number, this diagonal. Let me get some other colors. I'm going to add these diagonal numbers. 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 And then that last 0. All right, you ready? Okay, now let me get a nice color here. Let's start. I have 0, 5, 7, 5, 2, and 1 is 8. 2, 2, and 1 is 5. 2, and that last 0, I don't have to write it, so I don't. And when I get my answer, 2,058, 750. Okay, so that one you just watched. But now, when we go on to the next page, what I want you to do, since we're skipping these problems, we're going to do something instead. I want you to get a separate sheet of paper. If you have to go get it, pause the video while you get it, and then come back. All right, you're back with me, right? So now, I erase those problems. You have a clean sheet of paper. So we're going to do 2 problems. The first one, let's do 325 times 19, and then we're going to do 732 times 65. Now the one on the left we're going to do traditional. The one on the right we're going to do lattice. So if you're a traditional person, keep an open mind with lattice. You're a lattice person, keep an open mind with traditional. All right, so at both steps here, you have 2 choices. If you're like, I know how to do these, you can pause the video, just do them, and then watch the video and see if you're right. Or you can stick with me step by step in the video. All right, so I'll give you both. So we're going to start with the first one with traditional. So we're going to do 325 times 19. All right, so get that copied down. Anytime I go too fast, you pause the video till you get caught up. Now, choice 1, you want to just do this traditional, do it, restart the video when you're done to make sure you're right. Choice 2, and you could do that now, you could pause it and go ahead. Choice 2, stick with me 1 step at a time. All right, so now, first thing I want you to do is you're going to multiply 9 times each of these. So multiply 9 by each of those. Pause the video while you're doing it. Restart it when you're done. Go. So 9 times 5 is 45. You write the 5, carry the 4. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22. Write the 2, carry the 2. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 2 is 29. See if you got 2925 for your first set of digits. If you didn't and you messed up, maybe traditional isn't for you. If it was a minor mistake, you could still do it. All right, so next step, you're going to multiply the 1 by the 5, the 2, and the 3. So pause the video, do that, go. All right, let's see how you did. Now here's my first question. Did you remember to fill in the 0? If you forgot that, then know that traditional is kicking your butt right now. Doesn't mean you can't get good at it. All right, so 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, last. Pause the video, add those numbers up. You'll have your answer. Go. Okay, so now let's add them up and see how you did. Making sure they're lined up. So you have 5, 7, 11, 6. That's your answer, 6,175. Now, if you were one of the people that just did the problem on your own and then watched the video and you got it right, good. You might be good with this way. You might want to stick with traditional. All right, so now, even if you're a traditional person, you're going to come over and we're going to try lattice. Now, if you're like a lattice expert, you can just pause the video, do this problem on your own, and restart it and make sure your answer's right, and you can go ahead and do that now. But if you're newer to lattice or you're not used to it, might want to stick with me. So the first thing we're going to draw a 3-digit by 2-digit lattice. So what that looks like is this. You draw a big rectangle, don't draw it small. Kind of looks like a flag. And you're splitting it, because the top number is 3 digits, into 3 sections, like the French flag. And then the 65 is 2 digits, so you split it in 2 sections there. Okay? Corner to corner, diagonals. So you could do this. You can pause it if you're not done and you don't want the video to go on while you're drawing your lattice. So pause it, let me know when you're ready. Okay, so now the 732, the 7 goes in this section, the 3 goes in this, and the 2 goes in that. 65, the 6 goes over here, the 5 goes over here. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to multiply. So remember, you do the 6 times the 2, and that goes here, right? You do the 6 times the 3, that goes here. All right, so I want you to pause the video, and I want you to multiply to get all 6 of your boxes, okay? So do that multiplication, restart it when you're done. Go. All right, let's see how you did. So 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 7 is 42. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay. If you messed up any of those boxes, pause and make your corrections now. Now, last thing you're going to do is you're going to add up the diagonals. So this diagonal goes here. These numbers, add them up, go here. These numbers, add them up, go here. These numbers, add them up, go here. And here, here. Now remember though, if you, let me get rid of all those marks. If you add up to a 2-digit number, like I'll show you, if you get like a 13, you write the 3 and carry the 1 in the next diagonal. Don't forget that. All right, so pause the video, add up all those diagonals now, go. So let's see how you did. I have 0. So now I'm going to add them up. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, 10, plus 5 is 15. Write the 5, carry the 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4. Now, in lattice, you write your number outside of the box. Don't leave it in the lattice. So you have 47,580. All right. So at this point, I made you do 1 traditional, 1 lattice. Now we're going to go down to the problems at the bottom of the page. And one of these I'm going to make you do traditional, one of these I'm going to make you do lattice. All right? So let's start with number 18. Okay, so this says the total payroll cost for a small business is $9,624 each month. The question says, what is the total payroll cost for this business for 1 year? Now the thing is, you have to know how many months are in a year. And I'm hoping you know that there's 12 months in a year. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 9,624 times 12. Now, for this one, I want you to solve it using the traditional method, more like this. All right? When we do number 19, we're going to do that with lattice. All right, so if you're not good with traditional, you can always kind of do it with me in the video. If you're good with traditional, you can just go ahead and do it and restart the video. Either way, get started, pause it now if you're good at it. If not, stick with me. All right, so first thing, you're going to need more room, right? So I'm going to get, you might want to use your separate sheet of paper. I'm going to get mine set up right here now. Okay, so now I'm going to do 9,624 times 12. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is multiply that 2 times everything. So I want you to multiply 2 times everything. Pause the video while you're doing it and restart it. Go. Okay, let's see how you did. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 6 is 12. Write the 2, carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. All right, check and see if you're still in it. If you messed up that number, those digits, 19248, you want to understand your mistake before you go on. All right, so your next step is you're going to pause the video, multiply the 1 all the way through. Don't forget about something here. I'm just giving you a hint. All right, pause the video, multiply the 1 through. Go. All right, let's see how you did. So, did you fill in a 0? I hope. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 9 is 9. All right, and that, I should have erased that one up there. That was from the first numbers. Last, pause the video, add those up, and you have your answer. Go. All right, let's see how you did. Ready? 8, 8, 4, 15, carry the 1, 9, 10, 11, comma, 1,115, 488. Now remember what that means. It said, what is the total payroll cost for this business for 12 months? That is $1,115, 488, or $1,115, $488. All right, so now at this point, you could be thinking how you did with traditional versus lattice. So far, you'd be like, all right, I did pretty good with that, or ooh, I really stink at traditional. All right, so now we're going to read the next problem, which is going to be lattice. So this one says, last year, a baseball cap factory made 2,392 caps per day for 253 days. How many caps did they make in all last year? Now, I'm just telling you, if you have a 4-digit by a 3-digit, that is a nightmare for traditional method people. The lattice, yeah, it's a pain in the butt to draw it, but once you draw it, it's way easier. All right, so lattice people, here's your choice. Choice 1 is, if you think you can just do it on your own, pause the video now and finish it. Then just restart it and watch the video and be bored and learn from mistakes. Okay, if you're not super good at lattice or you think you need a little more help, you're going to want to stick with me here. So first, we're going to work on drawing our lattice. You're going to need a clean spot on your scratch paper. I'm going to clean up my area here. Okay, so my area is cleaned up. Now, if you want to draw the lattice with me, so here's what it means. You have a 4-digit by a 3-digit. So you're going to want to draw kind of a big rectangle. Ooh, that's a little messy. Big rectangle. Now, since the first number is 4 digits, you split the top from the top down into 4 sections, and it's 2, 3, 9, 2. The second number is a 3-digit, so we split it sideways into 3 sections, and it's 2, 5, 3. So at all in drawing this, if I get ahead of you, pause it. But now we need to draw the diagonals. Now, if you have trouble drawing the diagonals at first, what I always do is I put little dots in the corners and connect them like that. Now, if you don't need to do that, you could just say corner to corner to corner. Corner to corner to corner to corner. Okay? I won't keep saying that because that's annoying. All right, so we split each of those boxes in half with diagonals. All right, so pause the video to get caught up with drawing your lattice. The neater your lattice is, the better chance you have of getting it right. Okay, so now we're going to do some multiplying. So what you do is basically, like, for 5 times 9 is 45, that goes where those two numbers meet, right? So I want you to pause the video, and I want to see if you can fill in all 12 of those boxes with your multiplication facts. Remember, the benefit of lattice is you multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. You're right at there. There's no carrying this, writing this, carrying, keeping it lined up. It just, this part's easy. All right, pause the video. Do your multiplication. Go. All right, so let's see how you did. So I'm going to multiply all the numbers. I'm going to start with this 2 times all the numbers on top. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, and at all, if you messed up, you can pause and fix it. Next, I'm going to multiply the 5 times all the numbers on the top. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. Next, I'm going to multiply the 3 times everything. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 2 is 6. All right, so if you messed up any of those numbers, pause, fix it, and restart. Okay, last step. Now that you have all those numbers in the boxes, I want you to add your diagonals. Be careful when you are adding that you don't mess up. Look for easy paths, like here. I'm going to add the 9 and the 1 to make a 10, because it's easier. So look for easy paths when you add. All right, so pause, see if you get your adding right. Go. Okay, let's see how you did. So first, that's just 6. And yes, I do circle those numbers because it helps me keep track of them. 7 and zeros is 7. Next, 9 and 1 makes a 10. That's 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right, the 1, carry the 2. Okay, next, 8 and 2 makes a 10, still 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19 and 6 is 25, right, the 5, carry the 2, okay, so 0, 0, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right, the 0, carry the 1, 4, 5, 6. And that 0 we don't need. All right, so this one, our answer is, how many caps did they make in all last year? They made 605,176 caps. All right, so you are done with this video. What I want you to think is, maybe I'm not good at lattice, maybe I should do a traditional, or maybe I'm not so good at traditional, maybe I should do lattice. You could do both. I will tell you, I tend to do lattice for when the problems have lots of digits because it keeps it organized. If it's a simpler problem, like say 322 times 8, I tend to do traditional because then I don't have to draw the lattice. So it is up to you when we move forward. All right, thanks for watching, guys.